Reporting unethical behavior. Few important things to do before reporting unethical behavior. The first one is documenting. Whenever you notice unethical behavior by the employer, make sure to document them. Important aspect to remember about any recording violations are to list the date, timings, and persons involved. The comments and remarks are another important aspects that need to be mentioned regarding the alleged violation. It is also advised to make copies of the documents and record the original copies for your personal future reference. Number 2 is to collect witnesses. Apart from documentation of unethical behavior, you also need to get the proof and witness for the unethical behavior at work that has occurred. Evidence may include emails, voicemails, files, testimonials, documents, and more are ones which can make your case stronger. Number 3 is to report to the supervisor. When unethical behavior is detected, do remember to report the supervisor to the supervisor first. Your direct boss will be the immediate person to whom you might report. Your boss would be an experienced person and must have been trained in managing situations where he might diffuse or escalate in such scenario. Number 4 is to seek help from ethics department. There are many organizations that possess an ethics or confidential compliance. You can leave an anonymous message. When a message is left in anonymous manner, the investigator would never report the outcomes or discuss any other aspect regarding the issues with you. Number 5 is to schedule a confidential meeting. If you desire to share your issues with someone else within the company, then you can schedule a confidential meeting with the HR department and share the concerns. When your issues are employment-based concern, then it would be good to speak to a member of executive team. When you are discussing the concern, make sure to speak only factual concerns and do not blend personal opinion or concerns to the issues. Number 7 is contacting government entity. Suppose you do not get a response from the employer in your organization, the government entity who deals with such issue can be inquired and violation can be reported. A clear example can be that when unethical practice are identified regarding bribery, the Malaysia Anti-Corruption Agency can be contacted.
Integrity focusing on public needs. Integrity in public is essential for advancing the public good and ensuring the legitimacy of public organizations. It is also considered an antithesis to corruption, as recognized by Article 7 and 8 of the United Nations Conventions Against Corruption, UNCAC. Integrity ensures that resources are well utilized and that members of the community have access to healthcare, education, and security. An ethical society serves its members and provides the resources that will enable them to achieve today and in the years to come. The public service in any country consists of public organizations and the individual working within them. Public organizations are specifically established by the state to fulfill public purposes and remain directly accountable to the state. Such organizations include ministries, public hospitals, public schools, the military, police, and so on. The purposes of the public organization is to serve the public interest, for example, the interest of the whole community. This contrasts with the private organizations such as companies that often only serve private interests of the owners or shareholders. Another key difference between public and private organizations is that the former are funded largely by obligatory contribution from citizens, namely taxes and fees. This means that individuals have no choice but to finance the service as opposed to the free choice at the basis of consumer decisions in the private sector. The legitimacy of the public service therefore depends on citizens' trust. To win this trust, public services needs to be just fair, transparent, responsive to citizens' needs, and compliant with the relevant laws, regulation, and the quality standards. In addition, results must be achieved through an impartial, lawful, and accountable process. These are key public service values which underpin the effective operation of the governance system. When citizens regard public service delivery as a legitimate process, they are likely to comply with the relevant rules and norms. This, in turn, will lead to a more efficient governance system which can focus on delivering service and promoting public interest rather than coercing compliance. Thank you.
I'm gonna proceed with my point, which is say no to gossip. Gossip is endowed with several meanings. To some people, it refers only actionable talk about someone beyond the persons hearing. Some believe that gossip involves just untrue tales, while other things it can include truthful remarks. Still others consider gossips to be any talk about a person's or institution's affair, whether personal or professional or slanderous. How can we practice with it? We can learn and try to avoid workplace gossip, and the resulting negativity is vital to focus on your work and being more productive. Commit to a goal of no negative gossip. It is a human nature to know what happened and what secret flowing around the office. Start by reminding yourself that you will not be a party of the spreading news. In other way, learn to walk away from the situation where others are gossiping and don't spread the news you overhear, even if you practice the previous step and try your best not to participate in the office rumors. There will be times when you learn something about another workers at your company. Avoid the negativity and do not repeating anything you hear to other persons.
Okay, next is about the practice the transparency, where practice the transparency are one of the ways to introduce or maintain the integrity in the workplace. As all we know, the transparency are one of the strong mechanism in order to avoid from any integrity or maybe ethic issue that was arise among the workers or even the society. Well, in related, when an organization is more transparent with their employees, they tend to be more successful in several areas. For instance, they will increase employee engagement, stronger the company culture. Transparency foster which a type of comfort that allows employees to freely communicate and helps employees feel valued and encourage their creativity, which is all of these things is really important in order to stronger their bonding among each other, among the workers. Well, preach on. When transparency being practiced among the workers, the integrity problems, such as corruption, will be slowly disappear. Why I chose corruption? Because as all you can see nowadays, a lot of our ministry has been testified or allegation under the corruption. Well, the closest case that I can pick here is, the cases that was booming recently is about our former Prime Minister, Datuk Sri Najib Abdul Razak, where, he was charged under a lot of allegations like abuse of power, criminal breach of trust, and also the money laundering, where all of these allegations shows how he felt to practicing the integrity through show, us about the transparency his work during his ruling. So what I'm going to emphasize here, transparency is really important either among the workers or the society, and then it was easy to apply when everyone was committed to do. Yeah, thank you.
6 ways to make integrity as a culture. Number 1, lead by example. Of course, the leadership must openly and directly embrace the integrity. The leader and the other on the leadership team, a powerful role model, will set the institution ethical tone. Number 2, make your ethical code on your own. Don't put the task to the lawyer to create your own ethic or download from the other company. The CEO or top management must do discussion and make their own ethical for your company, of course. Then number 3 is talk about it. It's not enough to simplify, go about your business and assuming integrity will naturally occur. Cannot. Leader must talk openly and regularly about its importance. Number 4, make sure people know about how to report the variance. Many companies right now is bearing or hidden the reporting system. It don't talk openly about the investigation process work. They are silent brand, distrust, and the environment in which employers are not comfortable using the process. So make sure they have with our company, your company must have the openly can know the process, so the employer can trust you. Okay. Number 5 is demonstrate the consequences. Ethical violence must be investigation, and when they are substantial, fair and reasonable consequences must be handed out. Leader or top management cannot enjoy the immunity. So this is best for your company. I think so. So the last one is remember the reputation matter. Integrity cannot be handled once a year. Be a creative. You do your own job. You do your own skill. How to make sure your employer remember about the ethical code. Or you can do your own video, right? Your own video, play every time, play at the workshop, so the employer can remember, right? Or you doing the games. Game, for example, game this to remember this code. That's all. I think that's all for me. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum.